Hi, everybody. I hope you're having a fun Sunday. Hope you're enjoying your Sunday fun day. I would like to talk to you really quickly about Zionism and why it is disqualifying. Well, Zionism is pro-Israel, and Israel is disqualifying, so Zionism obviously will be as well. Why is Israel disqualifying? Well, Israel was evil at the start. Israel began smuggling weapons out of the United States of America in 1948 via the Jewish mafia. Meyer Lansky was running things in 1948, and he blackmailed J. Edgar Hoover, the very first director of the FBI, who was one of the biggest traitors that ever came out of the United States of America. That total disgrace, but there's so many. There's so many. Like every president going back to at least Prescott, probably Lincoln. Evil has always existed here because evil has always existed on this earth since the fall of Lucifer. So Israel started smuggling weapons out of the United States in 1948 because J. Edgar Hoover couldn't keep it in his pants. And then once he got caught in a homosexual tryst, instead of coming clean and being publicly homosexual, he decided to allow the state of Israel to smuggle weapons of mass destruction for a very long time. So, Israel is disqualifying because it's been evil from the start. You know what else they did? These elitists who claim to be Jews, who I believe are the Kabbalah type Jews, like the Freemason, Dignity Index type Jews, the ultra-Orthodox that spit on Christian children, Jews, yeah, and rape whoever, whenever, wherever, Jews, those elitist Jews were such elitists that they wouldn't even grow their own food. They needed a slave class to grow their food, because that's just what elitists do. That's just their fruit. So they flew in a bunch of poor Jews from Yemen. Like, welcome back home. You have land. Like brothers and sisters return home. But then they just became the farming slaves. And not just that. The elitist Jews who were smuggling weapons from the United States and running this new state of Israel, they took babies and toddlers, never to be seen again. What do you think they did with them? Because I think that they raped them, and I think they murdered them in satanic rituals. They probably harvested their organs, and they did everything that people continue to do to this day, facilitated by the United States government. And I can't tell if Trump is ending it or if it's a game, because the media is stating that Soros Group is suing the Trump administration for the deportations and closing the borders, ending that open border agenda. Soros is also giving money to an NGO whose honorary members, I believe they're co-chairs, are the Obamas, the Bushes, the Clintons, and the Carters. This NGO called Welcome Fund or something dumb.
Welcome.
You can see the programming, the weaponized psychology on the first page.
Welcoming.
They use the word welcome like 11 times. Welcome, or welcoming. It's disturbing
Welcome.
So freaking
Welcome.
transparent.
Welcoming.
It's like embarrassing for them.
Welcome, welcome,
So this
welcome.
welcome fund funds
Welcome.
one of the resettlement
Welcome.
agencies.
Welcome. Welcome.
Remember the 300,000 missing open border unaccompanied children? The resettlement agencies that were trafficking them, they're still in operation according to this website, is associated with this ECDC. It was the first resettlement agency in the 80s, around the time of the Franklin scandal. And this one is still in operation. Hello? This is still going on today. They're stealing children and doing the most horrifying acts. These people are the worst human beings on the earth. And somehow they're dictating policies and running our lives. The worst, most disgusting human beings on the face of the earth are running governments across this planet. Check out my video I did about why they're protesting over this military thing and not this rape of the Palestinian prisoner that got caught on tape, that the woman who's responsible, this advocate, government advocate, general, gosh, I forget her name, I apologize, released this video. The corruption is so bad. They arrested her. I don't even know if she's still alive or not. And then the next day, all these Jews were protesting, or, right around the same time, all these Jews were protesting. I'm like, it's got to be over this rape, this horrible thing that they've taken this woman into prison, this whistleblower. Like, is she going to be okay? No, that's not why they're protesting. The government turned their backs on the Pharisees. The Pharisees are protesting because the government reneged their deal. The deal is that they would never have to serve in the military. All the other demographics do, except for women in a couple smaller tribes, and they don't want them to be, wiped out, which is really nice. Surprising, actually. I'm surprised they don't just wipe them out completely. I guess they serve some kind of a purpose. Excuse me, my lips are so chapped in the way. So the Jews, they took all those Yemen babies and toddlers. God help them. So do we hate all Jews? No, of course not, right? Of course not. Those Yemen Jews were victims. How terrible. And their ancestors are still over there today. I've known quite a few Jews on my 50 years on this planet, and none of them have ever sacrificed a baby, okay? So let's not be stupid here. So we're showing our love of the Jews. So this was me circa 1993. This was a pledge event. I'd love to talk to you guys about my experiences with sororities, fraternities. I'll have to do that in another video. But this was my pledge class. And this girl here, she is one of the best people I've ever met in my entire life. And guess what, guys? She's Jewish. Yeah, and she doesn't sacrifice babies. No, she doesn't, because most of them don't. She is one of the funnest. They made us dress up like babies one day. It was so dumb. But Sue was too cool. She wouldn't do all the things that they wanted us to do. I just did whatever. I didn't really question much, because she was one of the sweetest people I had ever met. One of the most considerate, and definitely one of the funniest. She couldn't stand this girl. Rose, hey guys. I'm trying to sleep, guys. Can you just be quiet? Yeah. Oh, she was my roommate. I loved her. Anyway, yeah. She was very funny. Very pretty, too. And, yeah. And she was Jewish. So this isn't about Jewish people. And if somebody tries to say that we're anti-Semites, we hate Jewish people, that is a huge red flag. And you need to understand that that person is either mind controlled or just a horrible human being. But anyway, the Jews, yeah, we're showing our love for our Jewish brothers and sisters by fighting the atrocities of their leadership, by fighting these psychopaths as Netanyahu and these inbred elitists that, I'm telling you, I don't know the full history of Israel, but from the beginning to the current, everything in between, I don't know. But it's been under 100 years, and I know in 1948, amongst the most disgusting humans in the world, and in 2025, that leadership, the Israeli leadership, are still the most disgusting human beings in the world. And we're seeing them dictate horrible policies in America that are harming and even killing American citizens. And, we're reaching a breaking point here. So, let's not get to a breaking point. Let's try to nip this in the butt, because we're the voters, we're the majority by far. And, we can stop them. It's not a matter if it's a possibility. Of course we can. Of course we can, just whether or not we will. And we have to do it in a smart way so that, no more people get hurt. This boycott is a fantastic idea. I was actually talking about it in a previous video. And after the boycott, we're going to get that protest done, and that's going to be incredible. That's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to be a part of that history. So anyway, the boycott, yeah, I'm excited. Everybody's catching on. One thing we need to do, we need to unite with each other. I watched a really cool video, and I was trying to tell the person who made it, the only thing about the video that was way off was they were making what's happening today in this boycott an anti-GOP thing. This is not about the Republican Party. Don't be fooled into thinking that, because Republican Party equals Democrat Party. So there's the blue pedophile criminal party, and then there's the red criminal pedophile party. The Republican government no longer ensures that we are guaranteed a Republican form of government because they are no longer operating as Republicans. I used to be a Democrat. I know all about the Democratic Party. I call it the Democratic National Cult. They use the psychological warfare a little bit better than the Republicans, I think. But it's all falling apart now because we're speaking up, we're sharing everything that we know, and when we all do that collectively, then we can put all the pieces together, and now we're at a point where some of us know exactly what's going on, and now we can prepare. And like I said before, what we're going to do is going to be very peaceful. It's going to be a peaceful and a loving transition for humanity, and it's all inclusive. Everybody has a choice, to join the liberation of mankind. We're going to do it in a peaceful way, and we're going to do it for the children. This is a selfless mission that we're on collectively, and we're going to have to unite. We're going to have to start talking to our, old friends, family members in the opposite party, because guess what? They were tricked too, just like you were. You were both tricked, and the purpose you were both tricked was that you would fight with each other instead of fight them. America was great, and it still is in some ways. Not as great as it was, of course, but it still is great in some ways. That's why everybody wants to be here, or overthrow it and take it, right, by force. But we're not going to let them do that. And we're not going to let them harm any more people. And we are doing this for the children. 600,000 children reported missing every year. America is #1 for child pornography consumption. 300,000 children went missing in the 4 years of the Biden administration, and it has been proven that it was trafficking. Biden administration was a trafficking administration. And it was proven that the Obama administration was as well. The Clintons, the Bushes, Reagan. Reagan is when it all started that I can tell so far. But if George Bush, Herbert Walker, right? Bush is known as like the #1 drug lord of all time, and Prescott was basically running the government. I'm sure Prescott, at least he might have started it, or he might have just taken over from his predecessor. I don't know how far this goes back, you guys. I really don't. It's very possible it goes back to the Civil War, when the Union victory allowed the globalists to take America, because it's been downhill ever since then. But we are going to join in this boycott, and it's going to be fun. And the world is going to take notice, and they're going to love us for it, and they're going to respect us for it. And it's going to inspire, and it's going to help contribute to this movement. I don't know if we started it with this whole MAGA thing, or if it started prior to American, creating this MAGA movement. Not Trump. Trump is not MAGA. He was the one we elected to represent MAGA. He was a PSYOP. He was a rhino. I'm talking about MAGA, the Americans, the Patriots, whatever you want to call us, are MAGA. And I don't know if MAGA started this or if we just helped get the ball rolling, but we've seen in India and Mexico, we've seen some changes. Look at the Prime Minister of India. Not only did they remove her from office, but they sentenced her to the death penalty. And look at what they're doing to UK. India won their battle. UK is losing. We don't know what's going to happen here in America if we don't do something soon. Because it's starting here. It started here a while ago. The globalist movement. Some of our states, there are cities that are completely taken. Completely taken. So, and this is so much revenue. We're losing too. New York City, LA, California, Minnesota. Minnesota is a totally different world now. Quite simply, it's like Little Mogadishu. Is that what they're calling it? Or is that the Somali one? It's hard. I'm starting to lose track. We have Illinois. It's widespread, unfortunately, and we need to stop it before it gets any bigger. They're going after Texas? Are you kidding me? Come on now. So we're starting with this boycott, and yeah, I'm proud of it. I'm going to provide a little bit more information, and stay tuned for updates regarding the protests. And I almost forgot, yeah, that's why. Being a Zionist, being Israel first, even being pro-Israeli government is disqualifying. So, everybody out there who is a self-proclaimed or in the closet, but it's obvious, like that South Park episode. He's in the closet. We're just done with them. We're done with them now. They need to go away. They need to apologize, and then they need to, cash out and get out of Dodge.
Tom Cruise won't come out of the closet.
And let us live our lives with peace and dignity for ourselves and one another. Zionist is disqualifying. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Politicians bought by Zionism. according to this article, Trump for $230 million. Mitch, almost $2 million. Ted, almost $2 million. Look at that. Wow. Ooh, it's a lot of money. Schumer, of course. Jeffries. Yep, Richie's. My goodness, look at all this money. It's like garbage pail kids, huh? Oh, of course, Shifty Schiff. And look, Marco Rubio. We know from my previous video about Marco Rubio. No surprise with Graham. Oh, and of course, everybody's favorite cult leader, Wasserman Schultz. I'm surprised Mike Johnson's so low. No surprise about Booker. Or Klobuchar. Look at all these people. That's what this nation is worth to them. Where does Israel get all their money from? I'm surprised hers is so low as well. Remember the 250 congressmen that just went over to Israel? Yeah, I wonder what they did over there. Of course, one of the few politicians who wasn't bought by Israel, Marjorie Taylor Greene, quit due to the harassment she was receiving and the death threats she was receiving, especially after Donald Trump started attacking her. This is why nothing ever gets done. This is why our nation has zero progress for the American people. And why we suffer so much while they just get richer and richer. Zionism is disqualifying. All these people are disqualified. I'm surprised his is so low. All of these people are disqualified, including No Chance Vance. This is a disgrace.
Examine the real numbers behind one of America's longest standing alliances. Just how much money has the U.S. sent to Israel over the decades, and where is that money going? Joining us now is Rachel O'Brien, Deputy Public Policy Director at OpenTheBooks.com. Rachel, thank you, as always, for being here. Let's start just with that top line number. How much money has the U.S. given to Israel since really records began?
Yeah, the U.S. has been very generous with its support to Israel for nearly 75 years. So we were able to look back at records since 1951. Americans have given $305.4 billion in foreign aid to Israel. That's adjusted for inflation. So that averages around $4 billion a year since 2004.
מעניין לי את האקוז מה עשו לאיש חמאס הזה. אני כל הזמן זוכר, קודם כל הדבר היחיד שמבחינתי הוא בעיה פה, זה שזו לא איזושהי מדיניות מוסדרת של המדינה להתעלל בצעירים, כי בגדול זה גם קודם כל מגיע להם, וזה אחלה נקמה שאנחנו צריכים לתת להם, ודבר שני, אולי זה גם ישמש אותנו קצת יותר כהרתעה. קשור 30